Will do.
Oh my gosh. Monday, Sunday, everybody. So if you caught my live stream on Friday, I let you know that I will be going live on Monday nights because it is Monday Funday. And to try to improve the quality of the live streams. And so I am live here on YouTube and also over here on TikTok. So if you don't see the comment or question in the platform you were watching this live on, it is probably on the other platform. What is that loud noise? It is our dog shaking his water bowl because he's mad.
Yeah.
He gets mad that we don't give him as much water right before bed because he's notorious for peeing in his bed.
And it's hand in hand. You give him water, he at night.
You don't. He doesn't as much.
Yeah. So he's also a weird peer.
A weird peer?
Yeah, like he runs outside, like he cowers, like because he wants me to pet him, and I don't. He's all sad, so I go, "Got a name, Tingles." God, stop tingling.
Can't hear you. Sorry. If you can't hear me, let me know.
Yeah.
So tonight we're going to talk about why habits are valuable as a realtor. Y'all cannot be heard. Is there like some kind of pause for a moment, y'all? Let's see. Wonder why.
Mm-hmm. Let me get on. I'm gonna check it out. It's easy. Full. Unpause.
Okay, can you hear me now?
What? Try it.
Can you hear me?
No, it's like a big thing in the background.
Ooh, I wonder if it's just... Oh, I can hear you. I wonder if it's my laptop. Ooh.
No way. Was all of our lives not being heard?
I guess. No, because I think it's just because my laptop's overheating from using it. Okay, everybody.
All right, user 767945665. Can you hear us now?
Okay, so you're gonna have to like lean in.
That's all right. I'll be right there.
You'll be right where.
And you're getting over here a second.
Okay. All right. Hopefully y'all can hear us better now. I did not realize because when I use my laptop, sometimes it gets very hot.
The fan
It likes to fan itself off, so it was being very loud, and that's why you could not hear me. My apologies, everybody. Happy Monday Fun Day. If you did not catch my live last Friday, I will be going live on Mondays for Monday Fun Day instead of every single weeknight. This is 1, to save myself some time, 2, to improve the quality of my lives, and 3, to create some more consistency for you guys, because ideally that's the goal.
The key. I feel like we're looking at 2 different screens.
Yes, so we are live on YouTube and we are live on TikTok. So if you don't see the question or comment on the platform you are watching, it is probably on the other platform. So we will read all comments and questions out loud as best as we can and respond to them so everybody can understand what we're talking about.
Yes.
So tonight we are going to be talking about why habits are valuable as a realtor. And to start us off, Chris has a very, very vital habit that you need to get into immediately before you become a realtor, as you become a realtor, when you are a realtor, at least some point, start tomorrow.
Yep. So I suggest no matter what, you need a rebrand and get a new email. Sorry. I didn't say it loud enough. But you're going to get constant emails. You're going to get emails about listings. You're going to get emails about, paperwork that's been sent. You're going to get stuff that you don't necessarily deal with, but it comes to you because you're inside the deals, you're inside the contracts, you're doing all that stuff. So if you have an email and you're using it as your personal and your real estate, you're going to be flooded with emails, advertisements, you name it. So a good habit you need to get into right away, which is something that I'm bad at. One of my emails is at capacity.
because he
100 megabytes or
never
something.
cleans it
I have all the
out.
advertisements in the world that go to it, and it just happens. But once I get my real estate license and I start doing real estate, I have a business email that I've been keeping clean that I will stick on top of, establish routines in a calendar to go and clear out my emails, answer emails, and delete if necessary. Now, you will have important documents that you need to hold on for a few years sometimes. That is where you will pull those documents.
Shake the table.
Sorry, I'm talking and tapping. And we've talked about it, printing them up and storing them.
Depending on your brokerage, there are systems that are designed to keep almost all the paperwork for transactions. So if you are like me, you can keep everything, or you can just keep some of those conversations, especially if it has anything to do with the negotiation process.
Yeah.
If a seller in a listing description says seller will give 1% of purchase price as credits at closing, take a picture of that, email it to yourself, and include it if you want to in your offer email. But at the end of the day, just have a photo of that, because you can change a listing description in a heartbeat. And if they really want to be crappy, they can erase that fun little fact unless it is in writing. So if you have that, or you have a conversation with the listing broker or the buyer's agent or whatever that's very important to the transaction, or made any kind of change throughout the transaction, you're going to want that in writing, and you're going to probably want to hold on to it, because while your brokerage likely holds on to a vast majority, if not all, of your paperwork, they only do so for a set amount of time, and they do not hold on to all your communications. So if you are in the middle of a negotiation process and it is getting hairy, my recommendation as a habit for realtors is to get as much in writing from as many parties as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes, if you absolutely have to, creating an addendum to your contract and sending it for signature to everyone involved, so you know for a fact they are all agreeing.
Yep.
They know what you're talking about. That was what was said, and everybody has agreed to it in writing with signatures and dates, so there can be no backtracking, because trust me, in real estate, shit gets emotional. All right, people turn around and change their mind in a heartbeat, and you don't get to say what to do. You just get to represent your client and use your knowledge to give them all the facts you can. Doesn't mean they or the other side will play ball the way you'd hope that they would.
CYA, if you haven't heard of that, it's a good one. Cover your ass. If it's been texted or anything, save it until the contracts are completed, especially if it's just talking, because we'll contract our thing, and if it's a deal you strike up with another individual during a contract, during the sale of a home, that's a deal you've talked about, you have it in writing, you have it in text message form, and they can sit there and say, oh yeah, I'll talk to my client about it, but then they never do. But you've already agreed upon it, put it in your offer, sending it out, and the seller of the home's like, what are you talking about? I didn't agree to this. And you're like, oh, your real estate agent did for you. You're covered because you have it proof.
The other and a huge part of that particularly is get into the habit of remembering you do not speak for your clients. You represent them. You give them the information, they make the decision. You therefore share that decision as necessary. You do not get to tell the listing broker that yes, they will accept a smaller concession for the repairs. You do not get to tell the buyer's agent that yes, your seller will accept a higher or lower price unless you have that agreed upon from your client. So get into the habit of saying, absolutely, I see where you're coming from. Let me talk with my client, the decision maker, and get back to you about that, because I do not speak for this person. So until they have given me the green light to tell you yes or no, we obviously cannot move forward, and therefore you will need to wait until I have their say-so to do anything. That is a very important habit. But another one that I think is so important, and that I'm pretty good at, but working to get better at, is having some kind of calendar at all times. I love pen and paper. I love a good planner. I love to write out. I have sticky notes. I keep track of as much things as I can. And for me, pen and paper is my jam, but I'm getting better creating the habit of putting everything from pen and paper into my Google Calendars on my phone so that one, my husband can see it on his phone and make plans accordingly if necessary. But two, when I'm on the go and I don't have, because I have kind of a hefty planner when I use it,
Hefty.
I don't have to carry it around with me. I can have my phone and make notes and make changes. And then when I get home, put it with that pen and paper. Got a calendar on the wall. I've got a planner. Who just walked out? I just came in. That's my husband, Chris. He was going to wrangle the crazy dogs. They're in their WWE phase of the night.
If you can hear him in the background, it's just
They go from like eating, going potty, come inside and go crazy. That's their routine.
Outside, they'll just sit down and look at the stars. Not being crazy.
But welcome to our live. We are talking about why habits are valuable as a realtor and talking about some of the habits that we are implementing and or will be implementing in the future. Thoughts on the Glock versus the 1911 for home protection?
I don't want to go off track, but I can.
If you have questions about anything that is not related to habits as a realtor, you can shoot me or Chris a DM and we will definitely go over those things with you. We're totally happy to. But like I said earlier, I am going to limit my lives to only Monday night for Monday Fun Day. And so we really got to stay on track and stick with the quality, the content that we create. Okay, well, if you already know the answer, then there you go.
I'll respond to you because I have a different answer. I'll just text it on here.
Oh, he's just going to send her a comment back. So, habits as a realtor. First of all, you've heard some of our habits. You've heard why we think they're important. But the reason that habits are so vital is because in real estate, you don't really have like a set schedule. You don't have somebody telling you, hey, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, I need you functioning on all cylinders. You don't have that. You create your own calendar, you create your own hours, you live on your own time, you do things in your own way. You have different systems and processes than I do, or, different things that are important. The noise is definitely our dogs going crazy in the background. TikTok commenter asked, "What's that noise?"
Hey.
Anyways, so habits are so important because especially when you're just starting out, you want to create consistency in your routines, and habits and habit loops are very, very important to entice you to be consistent and to help you create a united front when you are treating clients, other realtors in the industry, other professionals, vendors, all of those things. But if you don't have habits set, even habits of waking up and making the bed first thing, waking up and brushing your teeth right away, drinking water before doing anything else, eating breakfast before drinking caffeine, all of those are like simple habits that once you get into the habit of doing it, it's a lot easier to maintain it, and you almost do it subconsciously at some point. Just like driving a car, you don't think a lot about it once you've been doing it for long enough. So as a realtor, if you get into the habit of cleaning out your email, of remembering you don't speak for your clients, of putting everything on the calendar and blocking off time for each thing and sticking to those timelines and being upfront and honest with others about those timeframes. For instance, when I meet with a prospective EXP recruit, then I allot for a certain amount of time depending on the conversations that we have had leading up to that. If they have very vague questions, or if I think that they're going to ask a ton of things and they don't have any understanding yet, then I allot a little bit more time. But I really try, especially as I get more and more into the recruiting portion of my ability with EXP, I really try to stick to a set routine with those conversations so that I don't get off topic, I'm not misleading, and I'm not just value dumping, because all of those things can be difficult and make it a lot harder to recruit somebody or to have an honest conversation with somebody. So that's another habit, is creating the consistency and the system or process around that task. Have any other habits you want to share?
Yep. Safety.
Yes, safety habits.
I have some big habits. Former law enforcement officer, and did. I'm not going to credits. I'm not going to go into my credentials.
There you go.
But you have to get in the habit of letting somebody know where you're going.
Yes.
Now, for us, we track each other's phone by sharing our location.
Each other's phones.
It's tracking.
We share our locations with each
on
other
an Apple iPhone.
consensually with no pressure or anything like that. And even if I don't share my location with him, which it's on all the time, so whatever. But even if I didn't do that, I at least write it on the calendar, or I text him, or if I'm at a location and I did not text him the location, if there's something suspicious going on, I almost always send him a photo of the car or the person or whatever, so he knows where I'm at and what I'm worried about.
Yes. And so with that, if you are a real estate agent, you're not married, you're on your own, male or female,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Straight, gay, bi, doesn't matter.
And you just started out,
you're
a guy and you're hanging out, you need to let a buddy know. You need to let your parents know.
Let your sister
somebody know that if you do not call back or text, hey, that listing appointment's done, that showing's done, that open house is done, that they know, hey, this is supposed to be done in an hour or 4 hours or whatever it may be. And that person's not calling or texting.
Right.
When you notify law enforcement.
And yes, so you can provide yourself with self-directed structure with habits. Yes. So that is kind of the root of what I was saying earlier. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So if you have that prior conversation, you call dispatch. They're going to ask you questions. When was the last time you called a person? When was the last time? All these questions that they have to ask. But you simply stating, me and this individual had an agreed time frame that if they did not text back, it would be an emergency. They are not texting you back. It's been 2 hours. They said only 1 hour. It levels it up for law enforcement dispatch to sit there and say, listen, there was an agreed upon time. Versus, I haven't talked to my friend in 6 years and
I'm worried about him.
I don't know where he's at. He hasn't been on Facebook lately. You need to establish those habits of texting someone always, letting them know where you're at, share your location. It's easy. You open up your maps on your phone, hit share location, and send it to somebody.
Or text the address to your mom if your mom is not tech savvy, or your roommate, or your brokerage if you're on a team. If you're in an office, let your qualifying or managing broker know, hey, I'm headed to this listing appointment. It's at 123 Easy Street. I expect it to be 45 minutes to an hour. If it goes long, please just shoot me a text to check on me. If you don't hear from me for more than 2 hours, be concerned.
Yeah, if you have if you're on a team and you have a group of people that agree to go to things together, that's amazing, especially if it's a late evening, because real estate agents, they work whenever.
Habits. We will have a series coming up in the near future going over some things that realtors can do to be safe. And because Chris is former law enforcement, I will volunteer him to help with that series. So you just have to scroll back up. I forgot.
Yeah, the question's a good one. Are there some specific risks involved for y'all as realtors that make this extra important? There are actual murders, assaults.
Yeah, if you Google realtor murder in whatever state, you will probably find at least one article about a realtor who was attacked, murdered, RAPED. Any of those things. There's so much risk in this industry, and part of that is because the general public is aware that I, as a realtor, am very likely by myself when I show you, more often than not, a vacant home. Granted, it may not be vacant as in nobody lives there, but it may be vacant for a time frame, giving them a window of opportunity. That's what criminals are looking for, right? Any kind of opportunity. So like I said, we will definitely have a series coming up. And if you don't already follow me on TikTok or on YouTube, follow, subscribe, like, share, all the things so that you don't miss out, because when that series comes up, it will be very intense and it will be very educational and probably lengthy because we're talkers.
And I do recommend CCW as long as your brokerage is okay with it. Everything is you've taken the courses, you're licensed, you have everything. I definitely support that.
So another habit you can get into safety-wise is when you show up to show a home. I like to get there early so that I don't have a buyer standing behind me while I fiddle with the lockbox because it can be difficult. Howdy, thanks for joining. Welcome to our live. Somebody from Texas on TikTok.
Darn.
So I like to get there a little bit early because it's embarrassing if the lockbox doesn't work or my phone's acting funky or whatever, or if the keys are hard to get in the lock. Lots of things can go wrong. But the other reason being is it gives me an opportunity to go in, check the house, and ensure that I'm safe in there. And then also to turn lights on and lock the door behind myself. So if somebody followed me to this property, I am now inside, secured inside with the door locked behind me. And if my client or the seller or whoever shows up and they want in, they can knock, 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 and or text me. And once I know who it is, let them in, lock the door again behind us both. One, because if there's anybody else in the property that shouldn't be, they're going to have to find a way out. And two, if there's somebody who's followed me there or somebody who's watched me and any of my female buyers or younger couples or older couples who I show homes, we're just sitting ducks, right, on a giant pond. So anybody who's aware that we're there, if they attempt to come into the property, it will be locked, all open, all possible entrances or exits, the back door and the front door. Obviously, if windows are open, unless the seller has specifically said so, I shut them and lock them. A lot of times realtors leave one or two things, lights on, windows open, fans going, whatever. Do your best to turn those things off. Get into the habit of when you get to a property, turn everything on. Talk to your client, show them around. Once they're done viewing the property, you can say, you head on out. I'll meet you in the driveway in a couple minutes. Going to turn everything off and lock up. That's another way to give yourself a little bit of safety. If it's an uncomfortable client, someone you've never met before, someone you don't enjoy working with or you feel uneasy about, or maybe they've brought someone with them to the showing you weren't familiar with. Now you have a little bit of distance between you. If you need to call for help, text somebody, let somebody know. You can do that privately and discreetly without judgment or confusion. Then you turn everything off, you lock up, you walk out, you let your safety person know you're leaving, and you have that quick 5-minute conversation in the driveway, hop in your car, wait for them to leave completely if possible, and then you can head out. So again, if you have safety questions as far as real estate goes, we would love to address those, but in an effort to keep things as brief as we can, we will just move on with 1 or 2 more habits, and we will continue next week with a new topic.
Safety.
What is husband's name, Chris?
Who?
This guy said, what is husband's name? Oh my God, he looks. Oh, Jenna. Cool. Good one. Has something happened before for you at a showing? Shout out to Chris. Yes, shout out to Chris. No, thankfully, nothing has happened to me at a showing, but I will say that I have a buyer right now who is a phenomenal buyer, but she has informed me that she's in a not so healthy relationship with someone else, and that person has attended a couple of showings with her. Thankfully, because Chris works from home also, he's able to be in the car right outside waiting for me. He's able to, wave at the person so they're aware I'm not there by myself and I do have backup. It's never become a bad situation.
There's been some sketchy places.
There's definitely been, there's parts of every city that are not considered safe, or that maybe you don't want to go to, or you're not desiring to be alone in. But in real estate, you really don't get to decide all that often. Every once in a while you have a buyer, and if they need to look in that area or they really want to or whatever, it's up to you, I guess, whether or not you take that client. We stand Chris. Yes. Yeah, we stand. It's Gen Z for we love you.
I stand Chris. I stand me too. If that's something, I have no idea. I'm not up to date with stuff like that.
We're millennials, so we don't know your slang.
I'm early millennial too.
We stand a supporting husband like Chris. We do. We love a good, supportive husband for sure, and it helps with his former law enforcement background. He's constantly reminding me like, hey, don't forget to let me know you got there safe. Hey, shoot me a text when you leave. Hey, text me their name and number if you need to.
Dude, like I'd say on average, 8.5 out of 10 houses you show I go to.
Recently, yeah.
Yeah.
When I first started and you were working full time,
Yeah, it was hard.
there was just no ability for that. But there were times that I had to take my kids with me to showings. And that's the other thing. When you're considering safety, if it's not just you, it's if it's you and other people, clients, kids, clients, family members, clients, girlfriends, whatever, you have to consider that it's not just your life that you're protecting, you're helping other people too. And while I'm by no means a first responder or a hero, it's just the small things I can do to put myself and others into a safer position. Has Chris ever worried about a showing before? No.
Like ones that she goes to without me, I worry. I'll check like we
So
said.
then, yes.
So yeah, sorry, in that aspect, yes, but not like worried as in, oh my god, I'm worried about this person she's going to show a house with. More so like I'm not there type thing. But I will check, like I said, when we look at each other's phones, location on Apple phones, locations on. I'll just look. Okay, she's there, and then I, former law enforcement, will map out in my head the fastest route to her, so that if I don't hear back from her, I know how to get to where she's at the fastest that I can. But we're off topic.
Yeah, I meant like a shady client or something like that. I mean, I've definitely never had a shady client per se, but there have definitely been times that I have had clients bring people with them to see properties.
Yeah.
So because I've had, and it's never been unsafe or suspicious, but it's always kind of like, oh, I didn't realize your parents would be here, or oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know your boyfriend was coming.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not allowed to bring a significant other, but for me and my clients, I set that as a priority right away. In my buyer's consultation with them, I do let them know, hey, if you intend to bring anyone with you to see homes, to inspections, to closing, any of that, please just give me a heads up so that I know who to expect and so I can print the appropriate materials for everybody involved. And nobody's ever had a problem with it. I mean, if somebody ever did have a problem with it and they were like, well, I'm going to bring who I want to bring, then maybe they're not the right client for me. And that's all right with me. What about encountering squatters, or is that mostly a myth? I have never encountered squatters, but I have definitely seen some properties where it is very likely that there were squatters or that there have been recently, or that there are, but they're not currently in the property. I've seen some properties that were very, very, very run down because they have some inspectors. You know what? Actually, that's like the one property that I've ever been like scared of is the investment.
Oh yeah, that was about. And it
that
also
was-
depends on the state. Like California has really amazing squatter rights for squatters. Like it really protects squatters. So like you'll see a lot more of that, like in $1 million homes. But like here in New Mexico, we don't have very many squatter protection laws.
No, and there's definitely areas that you're
them up.
more likely to encounter unsafe individuals or unsafe properties or vacant properties that may have been inhabited by others that should not be there. Love your face right back, Brittany. Oh my gosh.
She's a real estate agent.
She is, and she's
Yeah.
freaking dope, and she's EXP as well.
Nice.
So give her a follow. If you ever need somebody, head her way.
On TikTok.
She's out in North Carolina, you know. If you need any help in North Carolina, Brittany's your girl. But what does Chris do now that he's not in law enforcement anymore? So Chris is getting his real estate license as well. Love Chris's face too, respectfully.
Thank you.
Wait, are you in Washington? Oh, that's right. You're in Washington. I'm over here telling people North Carolina.
Now you got to get licensed in North Carolina.
Well, now you can
Great.
just serve everywhere. It'll be fun.
Washington.
I would.
Go there.
And yes, we love Chris's face too, respectfully. But Chris is also getting his real estate license, and he's a health coach currently. He was in law enforcement, then he was an executive with a Fortune 50 company with their asset protection group, and now he's a health coach and going into real estate. North Central Washington. Oh my gosh, you know what? That's what it is. I just read your username and it says NC at the front. And I just freaking made the assumption. And you've told me probably like 7 times. I'm sorry, Brittany.
What's another good habit?
I appreciate your patience with me. So, final habit for tonight's live, and then we will, I promise, do a live maybe next week where we kind of introduce ourselves and share it with all of these amazing Chris, the Swiss Army knife over there doing everything literally. And I still love you too, Brittany. Thank you.
Always have a good pair of sunglasses for showing.
Why?
It's good to have. Sorry.
Another habit is to get as many of the documents signed and ready, or at least prepared ahead of time as you can. Because when you have a listing, if you have everything ready, it's a lot harder for them to say, no, we want to think about it. Or, I don't know, we're going to interview other brokers or whatever. If you have everything ready to go, it's right there. It's right in front of them. It's so much easier for them to just be like, yes, and go ahead and sign that bad boy. Or if you have a buyer and you know you're going to be submitting an offer later, if you can get as much of that ready as possible before the showing or even the night before, and just let them know, hey, we're not going to sign it until we agree on terms. But as far as things go, I have all the paperwork ready with spots for your signature. We'll go over it right before we submit it. You'll sign it. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Also, uploading all of your completed documents into SkySlope or whatever software your brokerage uses as quickly as you can, because there have been times that I have gotten almost to the closing date and gotten an email that's like, we need these 2 documents from you. And I'm like, oh yeah, those are just sitting in my hard drive, taking up space, doing absolutely nothing. Brittany, you friggin' cutie patootie.
Just got the #1 gifter badge.
Ooh. So those are some of the habits that are valuable as a realtor. And if you are becoming a realtor, or you already are a realtor and you have no current habits, processes, or systems, I highly encourage you to take a couple of days where you focus primarily on establishing those things, write them out, put them on sticky notes on your bathroom window or your mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It's a freaking Monday, everybody.
Monday fun day.
Put reminders up, do whatever you need to do, but absolutely set habits, because on a really small level, like making the bed every morning, on a really big level, like uploading your documents in a timely manner, they will save you time and energy. They will make your life and your career and your
I don't know where you're going with that one.
reputation.
Ah, there you go.
So much better, because people will know that they can count on you, and you will know that you can count on you. And it is so important in this industry to be reliable, on top of things, and on your A game. Firing on all cylinders. What's up, guys? What about VA home loans? What about them?
I gotta follow Brittany.
Hey.
Yeah, you looking? Patrick. My dad's name is Patrick.
Chris's dad's name is Patrick.
Retired military.
Now you know quite a bit about Chris and his dad.
If you don't know, now you know.
So we will definitely have a live, talking about different loan types. I just scratched Chris with my toenail.
That's like a gentle brush.
Do you need a minimum credit score for a VA home loan? Absolutely. I believe that you do, but I don't know. It's based on different states and different lenders. It can vary, but I know that it could be pretty low. So if you are in the New Mexico area, I've got some really great local lenders. If you're not, I can help you find a lender that's reliable and get you partnered up to learn a little bit more about what you need to qualify for VA. I know that there are lots of really incredible things involved with the VA home loan. So we will have a live going over home loans and some other things about financing or cash purchasing. We will have that. I will put that on the list of lives that you guys would like to see. My ex-wife destroyed my credit when I was in Afghan. So yeah.
I didn't know, like, the thing cool is the government wants people to buy homes. It is invested in banking, all that stuff. It's a big picture stuff. But the VA loan, they do really good stuff. I'm trying to think if I'm going through real estate school now, and I just went over loans, but I have so much other jumbled in my head by reading everything. But the VA has really good programs. There's also other programs out there that, if that's my leg, I shake the table too much. So like she said, if you need help finding somebody, or a lender is the best person to talk
And
to.
a lot of lenders, or at the very least, mortgage brokers, should have some kind of resource that is a credit repair resource, or at the very least, tips to help you repair and improve your credit if you are not where you would like to be. But you can always call a lender and talk to a lender, because they can tell you with a soft pull what your current options are, what the best things for you would be, what the best loan type, the lowest interest rates, the best plans and programs, because there are different things, grants and all that apply with so many different standards. So the right person to talk money with is a money person. And I'm a home person, but I can connect you with a really great money person. So if you have those questions, please, please, please give me a follow or subscribe here on YouTube. Shoot me a DM, drop a comment, whatever, and we will connect, and I will happily share more information with you. It's not that I don't want to share it. I just really want to focus on wrapping up our live about habits. And then I promise we will talk about it very soon. We will talk about loans, realtor safety. We have all kinds of really cool lives coming up. And then I will also create some videos that are just able to evergreen, just sit here on my channels for you guys. Appreciate the free information, by the way. Absolutely. Anything I can do to help. And like I said, if you want to give me a follow, I would absolutely love to help you even more, share some more information with you. You can shoot me a DM, give me a follow, or again, subscribe here on YouTube, whatever's easiest, and we can connect about anything that you have questions, because it is my mission to make real estate more attainable for people. And especially with Chris now going through real estate school, it's really exciting to get to relive some of that educational part and to be able to see from fresh eyes how the real estate industry is and can be. So,
and we love our military.
Yes, we do. We love our military. We love our first responders. We absolutely love and support you. Personally, as a realtor, I do as much as I possibly can to be supportive of our first responders and our military. And I know there are also programs and ways that you can benefit from being military or first responders. So thank you for the follow, Patrick. Thank you for the great questions. And absolutely, let's connect ASAP. Anyways, guys, if you don't already have habits in place, I highly recommend coming up with prioritizing some time and coming up with some habits that will help you, because in the long run, a habit makes a task less mundane. A habit makes a task almost subconscious to complete, and it's so much easier to stay consistent with doing them. Just like going live, we got into the habit of doing it every single night to a point that now we can limit ourselves to 1 or 2 nights a week and still give you lots of value and still hopefully and ideally make you love us, because we're fun and we love you. So, Bestie, thanks for your time. And I know that you guys hopefully learned something.
Yeah.
But I know that you guys came here mostly for this cute guy, so I will let him say bye as well.
You're the cute one. I'm just the comedic relief.
We love you, and we will see you next Monday for another Monday Fun Day.
I'll be here.
Bye.